Okay, we are here. So, of course, we will be using some hand weights today that are optional. And please come to your Pilates standing position. Welcome back. We're starting September today, aren't we? With torrential rain after last week's super sunshine. And in fact, we're going through to autumn, winter. So as usual, it's really good that you're back, ready for some healthy movement Pilates. So connecting to your feet, I've got bare feet, hopefully you've got the same at home. Make sure you spread out your toes, you're really coming through to the earth. You have leveled off that pelvis. So you are finding just connecting to where is your pelvis sitting. Do you tend to have that duck bum? We don't want to tuck. We want to make sure that we are suitably well stacked. So as we connect through to the midline, as you stand, shake off the knees. Let's start with easeful shoulder rolls. So as you are, also make sure the fingers and hands are loose. As you start to roll the shoulders, feel able to breathe with more intention. So mindfully breathing with awareness. Breathing in and exhaling away. Inhale and lift, shrug, exhale and roll back and roll away. And as you roll back and away, have a sense of the shoulder blades just meeting in your midline. So we start to activate the muscles in the back line, in the upper back, that area where we sometimes get that soft rounding and that slight hunch. So we're rolling shoulders up, shrug, release them off the back, slide them down the back. There is that moment when, as you roll more purposefully, the ribs will flare, but that's okay because we're just kind of warming up and nourishing the joints. But you know that during the Pilates method, we will find a strong container of strength through those ribs. Okay, no weights at the moment. Bring the palms forward, around about the heart center or just below, and then open out. Again, we'll feel that scapular squeeze, and you can clap the palms together or just join them comfortably. So it's a breath in. If you're moving at the pace of your breath, exhale, palms together. Or if you would like to warm up more, move faster. Try to feel the softening of the jaws. So watch out for that grip. Crown is on. Even if you're moving faster, remember to breathe well. And then reach the arms out into that T shape. Lengthen out through the fingers, through the wrists, maybe spread out through the thumbs. And mini C's. So just sensing the letter C that you are drawing beside you. So mini ones might be this. So we're rolling over. We get that sense of internal rotation of the shoulders and external opening. And you and I might feel really comfortable to speed that up. So softening those elbows. This is a good opportunity to begin to bring a bit more awareness into your core center. So, feeling that across from the armpits down to the knees, you've got a sense of internal corseting. And of course, we do not want to suck that belly in and find that there is no ability to breathe. The core wants to be functional. You want to be fluid, flexible, strong, and mobile for a better quality of life, to be fit for purpose. So we're just finding a really kind of calm and relaxed way, the mini C's, but we might want to sort of finish this one with some really larger ones. So now going into like the capital C, those sort of really beautiful calligraphy style curly C's. So breathing in and breathing out as you come around. Maybe you want to join the fingers to the thumbs, maybe you want to remain in a spread. And then obviously be still aware of your midline and centered weight. So we're just trying to minimize the sway, minimize the rock, and create some extra stability. Okay, let's shake that off. And we're going to go I's, Y's, and T's. So here is the capital I, lengthen. Just make sure the head and neck is not too stiff. Let's come up to the Y. Lift. Remember that this is not yoga, so we're not going to back bend. Rotate the palms, press firmly down to the T. Now the IYT, I think is actually a really good move in which to consider picking up your hand weights. So there's time to add in your hand weights now if you wish. When you come to the I, it's as if you're holding a box and you want to engage the pectoralis muscles and actually squeeze through to that midline. And up to the Y, expand down to the T. Breathing in on the IY, breathing out as you press down to the T and pull the shoulder blades down. Remember that if you're holding your hand weights, the rhythm is likely to slow down a little. And if you stay without them, you might find it's better for you to pick up the pace and really warm up arms and shoulders. And there's this rotation happening through the arm bones. And all of that helps those muscles hug in, and it creates a lovely stimulation to the nerves as well. So as long as that stimulation to your nerves isn't getting on your nerves, as long as you're not getting any aggravation, irritation, this is such a lovely way of opening up the breath space. So especially on the Y, as you lengthen from the hip to the armpit and create that space. And in fact, we do get that lymphatic stimulation as well when we're moving through around the heart zone and into the upper body area. Okay, so come back out to the T, please, and palms up or palms are down. So think about that rotation, think about where you're at, what it feels like. Sense a big smile across the collarbones. I think I'm going to turn them down, actually. And then left over right, cross, turn, open, up. Turning down, right over left, cross, open, rotate up. Breathe. Turn down, left over right, rotate up. So we're scissoring and turning. Again, this can become quite flowish. So Pilates method does have a principle, has 8 principles, or 6, depending on what school of Pilates your teacher came from. And one of them is flowing. One of the most important ones is concentration. And the great thing about the Pilates method is as you're repeating your moves, your exercises, what happens is your mind becomes really absorbed. So it is a little bit meditative, even if you're moving fast. Okay, let's release the arms now. I am going to pick up the hand weights. These are 1.5 kilos. You may have already collected your hand weights. And we're just going to use just a couple of classical arm weight series. So from your standing position, bring your heels together, join your ankles, and just connect into that small Pilates first stance, the Pilates V. So the inner zip, you've got that lovely felt sense of zip and hollow. And we're going to have the weights knuckles in towards the side of the thighs and curl. So those weights may well, oh, got an itchy nose, they may well be lightly coming up to your shoulder line, and then we're drawing down. So this is really bringing you into very simple, a simple version of a bicep curl. Now, if you are stronger or you have a selection of hand weights at home, this would work well with maybe a slightly heavier weight. But as I say, I'm just demoing with the 1.5 kilos. It's not about swinging And we are also not locking out those elbows. So you want to keep the momentum going. Probably 15, 16, or even 20 of these would be absolutely fine. Let breath happen. Try and have a relaxed face. If you've got your mirror there, keep an eye on your upright stance. Okay, coming here, we're going up to the shoulder press. So we're lengthening and pulling down. If your shoulder line is narrow, then obviously you will be in that narrow arrangement. And if it's better for you to be out a little bit wider, you can come in this style instead. Just a little bit more feeling like a lat pull down. Remember that even though there's a demonstration, particularly on Zoom and online, we often are looking at the screen for inspiration. Remember that you do know these moves, and if you wish to close your eyes and really enter the inner space more clearly, then do so. And even think about your connection to how many repetitions feel more logical for your body. What feels logical, what feels manageable. So imagining, as I am, that you've completed those, now come round to the classical bicep curl. Roll off the shoulders, palms face towards the sky. We're going to do the half curl, so not going down to the hips. Just be sitting around the midline with the elbow in line with the wrist. And smooth, easy breathing. Again, remember that there is, because it's a bent elbow, that is about feeling the contraction of the biceps. The inner outer triceps will mildly lengthen, especially when we do the full one. You know, we go down to the full curl. But for now, nice, good, even, steady pace. Notice your feet. Try not to grip with those toes. And have a little bit of extra tone coming through your gluteals. So keep going. Think about that corset tree bracing through your midline. And release, little roll. We're just going to take a second set. So first of all, it's holding the weight, hand weight in the candle style or the microphone style. And it's long. And what I didn't say on the first round is that if you wish to, you can just draw back a little bit, so you find that's a little extra element of finding the triceps. Having mindful strength in your arms will help support your upper back and your shoulder girdle and maintain juicy, buoyant muscles. And remember that every day we are aging, and therefore we do not want our muscles to atrophy. We want them to stay really fresh and really powerful and fit for purpose, so that you and I can really enjoy all the other activities that make life of so much more enjoyment and pleasure. It's fine to take recovery breath in between your moves. We're sort of around about here now with the weights towards the shoulders, and you're going to press up and pull down. And then if you want to, you can just, as I say, go narrow. So you're pressing and pulling, and it is much faster for you, or you're wider according to the felt sense of drawing the scapulae down, having glideability in your scapulae. Again, really helpful, especially when you are moving in your Pilates standing stance. So you are connecting to that tone throughout the body. Plenty of benefits to the practice. Again, I'm going to say that let's draw around now into the final move today of the standing arm weights, just the simple bicep curl, sometimes known as the half bicep curl. Are you still breathing? Have you noticed by holding hand weights, your weight is starting to pitch forward into the toe beds? Yeah, so please be careful about that. Pat, especially be careful as you are looking in your Marilyn mirror that you don't start leaning, you know, the chest forward. So, I mean, that is a little reminder for everybody. We don't really want to be glued into the heels with locked knees, and at the same time, you don't want to be pressing all of your weight forward. Commonly, we know in today's society, there's an awful lot of forward head placement with heads coming out, you know, like a tacky neck and staring at the screen. So that's something else Pilates is reminding you about, the weight bear of your own head on your shoulders. And if this has been really manageable for you, and in fact mildly too easy, shake out those legs now, give yourself a little walk in place, have a little walk around your room. Yeah, so if this has been a little bit too easy, you might want to consider a third set of that movement pattern, or even your heavier weights. Okay, so we're going to move into just the Pilates lunge now. So we're going to stay in standing, nice fresh energy for your morning. And from the hip wide position, of course, some of you might want to be stepping onto your mat, that's fine. So right foot forward, left foot back, bending into your right knee and stacking the shoulders above the hips. Spread out through the toes. By the way, the back heel can also be lifted. Connect to that length through the torso. So try and find here that your pelvis is level. We're going to front raise the arms just to the shoulder height or to the eyes. And then as you step in, float into your knee fold balance and press the arms back. So it's going to be lunge, stack, inhale arms, exhale, balance, arm press back. See how you go with 6 in a row. Make sure that your home environment doesn't have lots of things in the way. And again, if you're in the mirror, looking towards that level pelvis, there is this front raise of the arms, shoulders, eyes, or even to your jawline, and then float into that knee fold balance, arm press back. And squeeze. Control the energy, control the action. It's the entry to the position and the exit that determines your particular core function and stability. So I would suggest there is no rushing through that. 6 or 8 reps. Stand. Have a little pelvic circle. Make sure you have some mobilization through the pelvis, through the hips, through the trunk. And that kind of feeds through to the rest of the body. That can be a playful movement, doesn't have to be too precise. Setting yourself up for the second lunge. So you can step your left foot forward or step your right leg back. Try to be calm and relaxed. Breathing in. Exhale, step into that left leg. Float the right knee above the hip. A little bit of wobbling spine. Maybe the toes point. Notice if your tendency is to lean forward and back. And then step it through. Breathe in, arms. Exhale, knee fold. Now you can go really fast, like this. So if you want to fast forward this, you know, it's okay, it's fine. It's quite good to play with active dynamic Pilates and then come back to a moderate position. But it's more important that you feel confident and capable of standing on one leg. and that your practice is enhancing that ability, or let's say maintaining it. Usually what I find, and you may agree with me, is that one side is way stronger or just more stable. So even though, as is often the case, we are offering 6 reps on one side, 6 on the other, you might want to spend a little bit more time on that side that really needs it. When you float the knee, you can have a pointy foot or a flexed foot. And remember that it's really important that bones are stacking in good alignment as best you can. Let's be back in standing, completing the balances. 10 toes forward. Roll the shoulders down the back. Try not to flare those ribs now. Keep aware of that corsetry. I'm going to arm press back in pulsing. So these are those tinier, smaller, possibly quite narrow arms. And you are pushing back. By the way, if weights are not your thing, you just make small fists. Watch that chin coming forward. And then squeeze from there. So if the weights are hindering this action, ditch the weights, make small fists, and pulsing. Remember that I'm turning to look at you all, but in actual fact, you do want to keep your head well aligned. Have a little bit of pelvic circling. Ease around your body. Coming back into standing. Float, lengthen, or extend one arm overhead. Feel centered and balanced, and then release to your side. So just a really classical side bend. Don't reach, extend the other arm. These options are good, you know, when you tuck the fingers on top and slide across to your side bend. Try to be as pure and precise as you can with side bending, particularly not turning that pelvis. So strong feet, unlock the knees, move in comfortably, breathing and moving slower or faster according to you. And then personally, I do quite like to pop the fingertips onto the shoulders and just find a more rapid kind of warm up of the capability of the spine to back bend. To side bend. So, you know, moving a bit faster side to side, if that works well for you. Okay, let's come to the back of the practice mat. We're going to be coming down into a stepping plank for strength in the shoulder girdle and bringing that standing strength through to the whole mat now. Back of the mat, release the arms, look down to your toes. Let the weight of the crown lead you in and down to your Pilates roll down. It's essentially, of course, like a ragdoll. Shake out the head, shake out the crown. Let your body drape. Enjoy that feeling of loosening. Let weight come into the balls of the feet. Rhonda, I don't know if you're using your bricks or your yoga blocks today, but if you are, that's fine. You can have them there to support you. Everybody might fancy just a little bit of pedaling out through the legs and then walking in to your plank. Press the palms, obviously connect through to those thumb roots. Walk the feet just hip wide, and of course press that earth away. Long back neck. If necessary, bring your knees down to all fours so that you can just be clear about how you feel with your all fours weight bearing pose. Remember how good these are for maintenance of bone health and bone density. Remember that Pilates is low impact, not high impact, so you want to add some high impact actions to this bone health. But for now, finding that plank, tabletop back, we're not in a slope, you're not releasing that pelvis to sag. So check that you've drawn up through that corset trim, and then walk in so that your right knee comes under your hip and then your left knee comes under the hip, and therefore you're in a short plank. And then walk it out again. So I like to move by understanding the pattern. So I'm going to go left leg in, right leg in. Try not to lift the bum too high. Stable table, hugging and centered. And then I'm going to go left out, right out. So it's a long plank. Right in, right moves out, left moves out. Left in, right in. Try and find that table, left out, right out. Right, left, and then left, right. Remember to breathe. Support your practice, respect yourself, honor your progress, but take care of that moment of resting as well. And of course, when you rest, you can just come into kneeling, or you can find a shell, a yoga child's pose. And of course, this can be moderated with elbows down, or your version of providing a little more comfort to the wrists. But you might want to just come to a second set and either literally repeat left, right, and walk in the right, left, pause, and walk out the right, left. So you could try a second set. You might prefer to take the feet mat wide and just not hold on for grim death, but just stay steady in the plank where you're at without movement. Or lower your body, a light interlace of the palms, elbows below the shoulders, and finding the forearm or elbow plank. And if you're finding the forearm or elbow plank, that is not an invitation to walk the legs in and out. Personally, with my long femur bones, I find the legs just do get caught underneath me, but instead, maybe just sustain some of that beautiful strength that you have. And once again, feel free to practice your long arm plank or your elbow plank, forearm plank, another day, or even a couple more sets today. This is the beauty of our healthy movement. If you bring your beginner's mind and your fresh, open heart to every practice, then you will always find something new. And even if you think, oh, hey, Rose, I've nailed that, I'm just really amazing at this particular posture or this particular movement, you will always find something different, and then your skill set increases. So please complete your planks, and then just come to sit on your folded blanket or your block, swing the legs around. It's quite nice to let them roll out a little bit, bump knees. Okay, and remember that we did have to start this class a little later this morning because it was torrential rain and some of us had some Wi-Fi connection problem. So if you are urgent to leave on time because you have a meeting or you're rushing to work, that's fine. But if you can stay with me for the extra 5 minutes, then please do, so that you get your full content. So we are into the sit bones, sitting as upright as comfortable and possible without rigidity. Float the arms forward. Maybe you've chosen your hand weights, maybe you've got small fists, or soften out those hands and roll the wrists after all of those delicious planks. And then on the exhale, just curl the pelvis, so curling off of that seat, scooping through the low abs. Notice the knee joints in line. Some of you I know will be really happy to come way lower and just challenge in that sense of the body weight held above the gravity. But really, as you lift out, it wants to be a lovely flow. And then again, we're going to let the arms float. So think of when we hug tree, Pilates hugging a tree. So it's almost like it's almost like a circular action in the arms, or it's hold a ball, hold a hoop. So breathing in. You might even want to let yourself float all the way above. And then exhale, scoop, curl, all the way through to that long exhalation, rolling down even further if that's comfortable for you. Breathe in, breathe out, see if you can maintain position, and then can you articulate, mobilize, flow through to sit. Inhale the arms. Exhale the arms. As you exhale, start to connect a little bit to those toned gluteals as they curl. It's as if the buttock bones are curling towards your heels. You're going, to challenge that sweet spot where you can stay and maintain your flowing control and energy. So definitely stay with the breath pace or go faster according to you. And if you're getting grip in the hip flexors, it's nice to let those legs just fall apart a little bit, butterfly style here and there, or even, lay them out, bumpy knees, a bit of rolling. But we're going to add on rotation. So sitting tall, think about how easy, how well you can turn as if you're holding that hoop, passing the hoop to someone sitting on your left, someone sitting on your right. Remember that you are breathing throughout this rotation. And by the way, if you need to really sort of warm up your rotational ability, your twisting ability, it's absolutely fine here, just like we did with the side bending, to move faster. But I keep my face forward, otherwise I get really dizzy. So speed up or slow down or moderate pace. Let's add that to the rolling down. Sitting tall, scooping off of the pelvis, finding a pelvis curl, but not dumping the torso down. So try not to collapse down. And then rotate. Exhale through mouth if that helps you stay with. Slide back to center, breathe in, exhale, rotate. Centered. This might be the time for you to resit and just be respectful to yourself and where you're at. Otherwise, you are going to repeat and you'll be here, turning left, centering, scooping, turning right. Really starting to feel the additional impact of healthy obliques, the side walls of your abdominals. Once you feel enough, soften the knees, maybe they flare out. Let the chin roll towards the heart. Tip your body forwards enough just to feel a little more elongation of the spine. And if your hands meet with the toes and you just want to draw yourself in a little bit deeper, that's fine. But then I want to invite you to roll all the way down. Again, hold your hoop, or you've got your hand weights there. Heels are in, or whole feet. Let pelvis curl. Exhaling as you need more breath. Let more breath come through to you. Let your body land beautifully. And then walk the feet in to supine semi. Lay your arms open, readjust, back ribs connect. As best you can, whole body connects. And let, especially the sacrum, really spread out. So pelvis is level. Float right knee above your hip, left knee above the hip. Let the legs kiss together, but staying apart is also fine. And then as you lengthen them away, so it's like a low or a 45 angle, can you feel that you haven't arched away, especially in those back ribs? And then you will either fold back in towards your chest, just so you can get that little hug, like a supine curl, or in the Pilates method, you'll keep those knees above those hips. So lengthen away. And come back. Whole body is supported, eyes are to the sky, palms face towards the sky, heart is open. Honestly, you do not want to let those legs just drop way down, because in actual fact, for many of us, there will be that tug pull on the joints of the vertebrae, so be super cautious about that. But if this one's good for you and you know it and you love it, then you are going out and in more rapidly. And there's a light pointing of the toes. And what is really lovely is if you're not holding weights, bring the hands around the rib cages, maybe around the side waists. And this is when you feel that lovely felt sense of the inner muscles actively stabilizing your posture. Just be cautious about any observation of breath holding. So often we just call that ins and outs, Pilates ins and outs. It's of course related to leg lowering, leg extensions and elongations. I'm going to float the knees, so bring the feet down, and as I say, it's fine, you can hug, you can rock, of course, you know your transitions. But let's bring the knees back above the hips. And this time, float the arms above the shoulders. Think of how you come into upper body curl up and it's the 100 arms as the arms pump. So think of that Pilates action. And then we're going to coordinate the two. So fingertips towards the sky or carry up your weights. Breathe in. Exhale, curl, lengthen, lengthen legs away. Inhale, lay down, fingers to sky, or you can come a little bit further back if you wish, but please don't lose your strong torso. Exhale, curl, lift up and back, shoulders, press arms down. I'm going to speed this up for 10, 9, 8, well done. If you manage to stay for the 10, place your feet down, palms up, easy floor twist. It's really lovely if you let your legs roll to the right now, to let your head roll to the left, especially after those curl-ups. And then extend your legs away. You might want to interlace and find a full body stretch. And then again, bring the arms in line with your heart center or shoulder line, palms facing towards the toes at the bottom of the mat. As you exhale, lift head, neck, and shoulders, reach arms towards those toes. Inhale up. Exhale, curl. Remember, you can hold onto your trousers, you can bend the knees and hold the backs of your thighs, guide yourself up, or full Pilates roll up. And you will squeeze through and sequentially find that ability to bring yourself back into sitting. Depending on you, what kind of morning you've had, sometimes there's that little bit of extra, like a little jerk that brings up, even I find it too. However, practice, practice, practice. So we are sitting, personally, I'm going to bring myself into a cross leg. You might prefer to sit with your legs in front, which is where you just found yourself. Let's finish today with kind of like a lovely seated release, side to side. Stacking the body, breathe in as you exhale, rotate, look over your shoulder. And then rise to stand. Have a lovely day ahead. Thank you for being here and see you tomorrow.